Hey guys, welcome back to Georgia 4Low. I'm Arthur. Today we are working on the Ram 2500 that you see back there in the background. It's a 2021 model, regular cab, 4x4. We are going to install a Westin XD stainless steel brush guard. So stay tuned, and this is going to be pretty cool. So stick around. It's hot. Look at my shirt already. It's just muggy. It's in the middle of the day. Rained yesterday, and it's in the 90s already this morning. It's 11:30, so we'll have fun anyway, so stick around. Let's cover a couple of the tools you're going to need. You're going to need a 1/2-inch drive ratchet, 18mm wrench, an 18mm socket, and you're also going to need likely a small extension, and this is a 24mm socket. And my recommendation is some form of an impact. I used an air tool. I just don't think your cordless impact may not get these monstrous bolts loose. These are the bolts that were for the factory tow hooks, but that's the tools you're going to need. Plus Westin supplies an Allen key for these bolts. There's another small Allen key. This is for an accessory for your license plate relocation kit. We'll talk more about that later. But there's your hardware. You got these beefy brackets. They are labeled D and P for driver and passenger side. Even the smaller ones here are also labeled. So that's all the hardware that comes with it. I got it laying over here on the ground, but we'll get that up on the truck shortly. Okay, so obviously we got to get the front bumper off the truck, get it up on the table so we can work on it and get these brackets attached to it. So I'm going to climb underneath there, and I'm going to show you the bolts that you need to take loose. I already mentioned the tools that you're going to need and the sizes, but we're going to crawl underneath here, and I'm going to show you which bolts to take loose. Especially if you have a bumper with the tow hooks. This is the Tradesman package. We have no fog lights, and we got no parking sensors, and we'll talk more about that later. But so let's climb underneath there and let me show you what bolts to take loose. Once you're underneath the truck, these here are your bumper bolts. And also, if you got the tow hooks, I already got them removed, but they will be a bolt here and one there. You will need a 1/2-inch drive air impact possibly to get them out. That's what I had to use. It was also helpful on the bumper bolts, and then those are the same bolts, identical on the other side. You can see I already got them loose. Once you get the bumper loose, you will need to pop these little Christmas tree clips off this little panel here. I did it from the outside. I just went in with a screwdriver and just gently pried them. They popped right out. But you'll need to get them detached before the bumper will come on off. This bumper bracket needs to be removed. It's got 4 18mm bolts here in each corner, and it looks like the bolt or nut, but the bolt is captive, so we need to remove those. So let's get those removed. You got one on the driver's side and you got one on the passenger side. So let me get those removed, and then we'll cover the next steps. Okay, so we got our 4 bolts loose on this bumper bracket. You're just going to lift it up, set it to the side for just a second. Locate this piece here. This is the driver's side. It's got a D on it. Okay, this is going to need to pass through here to the pocket, you know, where the recovery hook was, but you got to install it into this piece just like that, and then we're going to drop this back down in here. We're going to kind of let that hang for a second. You'll see how that's the brush guard bracket is on the outside of the bumper bracket here. The frame goes in here, and that's how this will eventually get secured back on the truck. So we're going to let this hang here. We're going to swing over and we'll do the passenger side as well. So I'm going to lift this up, set it right here. I mean, that big bracket right there, baby. Right here, it's got a P on it for passenger side. We'll flip it over like this. Again, we're going to install it into this bumper bracket. It takes a little bit of takes a lot of finagling. There we go. Then we're going to just drop that back down. We'll let that hang right there. So now, at this point, we'll put our bolts back on and mount the bumper bracket back to the bumper, and then we'll get to the next step. Okay, so In the upper left corner of your driver's side bracket, find this little L bracket piece labeled D. It's got a square hole and then a slotted hole. It's going to come up in this corner. You got a couple options. You could either trim this rubber piece here, you could kind of trim it, or I think for the time being I'm going to just kind of let it squish down. Maybe help keep this off the bumper itself. Then when you get the nut reinstalled, you need to do that on both sides. This would be a good time if you was going to trim this. You could take a paint marker, mark it here and here, take it back off, and just take a little razor blade and cut it. And I may do that here shortly, but right now we got it mocked up, and then we'll kind of work from there. Same here on the passenger side. Got a P, upper left, or depending on how you're looking at the vehicle, but just going to kind of gently push that little rubber trim piece down. Get these started. This is the way this should look when you're getting ready to reinstall the bumper. Kind of got your bracket floating in here. We'll get this up on the frame, get the bumper supported, and then we can get this lined up. You'll be using the supplied hardware for here from Westin, and then we'll use the OEM bolt here, but kind of how this should look. You're ready to install. You can see how I got that bracket squared and lined up. Now that may have to change once we get the brush guard on. I may have to loosen this and kind of manipulate this bracket, just depending on how everything lines up. But for now, I just tried to line this bracket up and I tightened it up. Okay guys, so we got this thing installed. It's been a week later. Was you trying to, what was you doing?
Giving you the knuckle sandwich.
Knuckle sandwich? So it's been a week later, and just wanted to give you a few installation tips and a little bit of a review. So basically, as you saw in the video, it does help if you have an extra person to remove the bumper, obviously, and then reinstall the bumper, and then an additional person to help you lift the brush guard up and install it. One thing I recommend when you and your helper are putting the brush guard on is each one of you have this top mounting bracket bolt in your hand. There's one on this side and there's one over here. You saw them in the video. That way when you get it up here, you can at least get that one bolt started on each side. You can kind of let that hang and sit there for a moment and let you regroup. And then you can come in and put your lower bolts in and your lower brackets, okay? And then at that point, you just want to snug those up, and then you can get this positioned where you want it. As far as the way I have this one, I got it just eyeballing it. I have it vertical. So you want to get it positioned to where you want it. Make sure it's vertical. Make sure you don't have any touching points down here where it might be contacting the bumper. But make sure you just get it positioned, either leaning back or forward or vertical where you want it. And also, when you go to put the bumper back on, remember I told you in the video, you're going to be using an OEM bumper bolt on each side, okay? And then you're using two of the supplied bolts on each side. So when you put the bumper on, we kind of got the bumper adjusted and got it in place. And I used the OEM bolt that went through the bumper bracket into the frame, and I used that to kind of secure the bumper in place and to hold it. And then the other two bolts that hold the brush guard bracket, I just kind of snugged those because I wanted to get it hanging here first, get this in position, and then I torqued the mounting bolts for the brush guard bracket and then tighten all these up. These are 60 foot-pounds out here, and what we kind of did is just kind of crisscross, kind of tighten these up, this one, and just kind of crisscross back and forth till we got the 60 foot-pounds. That kept everything kind of square where we wanted the brush guard, but so far, It looks good. Couple of pros and cons though. Pros, obviously, the brush guard is going to protect the front of the truck. These plastic grills in these trucks are super expensive. That's any new vehicle. The plastic grills are super expensive. It doesn't take a lot to damage them or tear them up, especially as much as I drive on the highway. So we're going to look good and protect the front of the truck. And this could be a sacrificial brush guard maybe for, say, there's always, we live out in the country, drive around in the country, there's always wildlife running across the road in the middle of the night. So I'd rather sacrifice the brush guard instead of the entire front of the vehicle. One of the cons is you lose your tow hooks. I did have the factory tow hooks here. If you don't have tow hooks, you're going to have to do some trimming in this pocket area, which normally it kind of looks like this if you don't have the tow hooks, but you'll have to trim that pocket out for these brackets. So that's one con, is that you don't have, or you lose your factory tow hooks. Also, with the stainless steel, you get a lifetime warranty on the stainless steel. So that's really good. They make a relocation bracket for your license plate, because if you put it here, you can kind of block it by this bar here. But they make a, I'll put the part number in the description, but they make another license plate bracket that mounts here and kind of hangs. Put your license plate kind of in that area. One thing I'd like to see them improve on is, one, they make this same bumper in black and they offer it with a winch tray. So I don't know why we don't have a stainless steel option with the winch tray. So I'd like to see them do that. I'm not sure why they don't do that. That would be nice to have the winch tray available for the stainless steel bumper, and or engineer and design these brackets to where you could have tow hooks. Maybe they can integrate the bracket to work with a factory tow hook or integrate their own. But other than that, it looks good. It protects the front of the vehicle. I have not seen any increase in any kind of operating temperatures driving up and down the highway or around town. The temperature of the engine temperature, the coolant temp, the oil temp, all that remains the same. So we're not, it looks like it's, I mean, it probably is blocking some airflow, but we're not to the point to where we're having any kind of temperature issues or cooling issues with the truck. Nice wraparound design. You can see it comes across, going to protect a lot of the vulnerability parts of the side of the vehicle, around the headlights, all that expensive plastic trim. Ain't that crazy that plastic's that expensive? But full polished stainless, looks beautiful. But it's the Westin HDX heavy duty brush guard. Okay guys, so if you got any questions about it, I'm here to help. Installation was pretty straightforward. Hopefully I covered the installation part of it really good in the first part of the video. The instructions that come with this, everybody complains about it on the internet, but if you slow down, look at the instructions, look at your bumper brackets and kind of pay attention, you'll figure it out. But hopefully in the front of this video I made it pretty clear for you. But anyways, if you got any questions or something I can help you with, please drop those down below. I will leave the link in the description for the brush guard. Like I said, you can get it in black or stainless. Also, I'll give you the part number for this relocation bracket for a license plate. And just let us know if we can help you. Leave any comments below. And thank y'all for watching.